He did that into the mic.
You lied.
Right, let's go. This is going to be a ropey start.
Any minute now.
I thought just
Right, no, let's
the intro.
just go. Let's just go. Hi guys, episode 5. Don't spoil the ending. I'm Joe.
I'm Nick.
I'm Josh.
Hi, I'm John.
I'm Sam.
Good stuff. We've got 4 microphones in the room today, so this is it's professional now.
Brand new setup in it.
Step up in the world.
Busy room.
Didn't quite get the mixer up to scratch, like up to set up to the computer right, but we're technically recording.
Yeah, got there in the end.
We can look into that for another time.
We can try.
Next week.
Yeah.
Maybe next week. Anybody done anything interesting this week that they want to talk about, or anything they've watched?
I've not done too much myself. I've watched a couple of films, but has anybody else done anything?
I'm trying to think what I've watched.
Anything more?
No.
Inman. We've got Inman back on the show.
Oh yeah, he's not drunk this week.
Not from episode 1. Episode 1 I was on, and then from there on I've been out drinking.
Yeah.
Apparently, according to you lot.
For a month solid.
Every episode I've listened to, it's Sam's out on the piss again.
It's the bloodshot eyes that gave it away.
You flew back in from Poland last Monday, end of the bender. He flew back in.
That was a bad one.
Oh yeah, any tales from Poland?
Yeah, how was Krakow?
Krakow's good. I recommend it, except for the airport where I got all my money next. So.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah,
Sure,
just
yeah.
don't.
Explain.
Well,
Name and shame the airline.
I'm going to say it's partly my fault, but because we were going on with hand luggage, but we got to the gate and they said, right, there's not enough room for all the hand luggage, so we're going to put your bag in hold. So valuables out, took my laptop out, stuff like that. Stupidly left my money in my bag in an easy access pocket. To be honest, it was a bit annoying really, but you still think that pocket's zipped up. It's not going to be an issue.
Yeah, I've done worse than that and been okay, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've had.
So I just take the bag into hold and then got to the other end in Krakow, got the bag off the conveyor belt, and the pocket is unzipped with money obviously missing. Someone's had a nice little payday. Ryanair, thank you very much. Take no responsibility. 0 responsibility for any bags that are put into the hold, i.e. checked baggage. I'll leave my squabbles off the podcast. I am taking issue with Ryanair. That is Ryanair.
You're now down there.
My insurance, legal and general. Also, don't take responsibility for any bags that are into checked luggage. So, really, if you work in baggage handling, you can have a bit of a free for all. Really.
Yeah. Steal what you want. No repercussions. Yep.
Yeah.
Do you ever find that companies can just get away with anything just with a simple sign to say we are not responsible?
Basically, in both those companies' terms and conditions, they both just pointed to right. No, we've written it here. That's final.
And that's it. Any gym, any car park. We're not responsible if your car goes missing. We're not responsible if someone must be.
Yeah. You come back to your gym locker and all your belongings are burnt. It's not our responsibility, we're told.
We need the sign. The sign was appointed by the Queen.
On the flip side, last week I found lots of Polish money, and I just got all that changed.
Oh, I found it in a backpack.
Ryanair Airport, did you? Speaking of which, did you go Auschwitz?
No. Basically, we wanted to go on the Monday, but the Monday was the Memorial Day.
Right.
So it's closed for then. And we were very unorganised on the Sunday. Woke up too late because we were hungover from the night before because we went out.
Because it's you.
Drinking. So woke
You
up
known
too
as
late.
the alcoholic. Is this what's happening?
Yeah.
Is this where the beard came from?
It's a trend.
Yeah.
Hitting your wife.
He was clean shaven back on episode 1. Now,
You look like a young Jeremy Corbyn at the moment.
I pointed it out a couple of times.
we'll
tweet that picture. I think.
We should actually tweet it side by side to your face.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, one other thing we've all got onto this week, the new fad.
Yeah.
Can I
I
give it a
think
spin?
we all
Can we
belong
give it a
one.
spin?
All own one. Sorry.
Fidget spinners.
Can we give it a little,
Fidget spinners.
They're the thing now.
Yeah.
little fidget spinners?
All the kids are into them. We're into them.
Yeah.
I raced kids today for them.
I actually bumped into one of our old colleagues from work who She left to become a teacher. I bumped into her in Asda.
Oh, Lisa.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to give her a name on the podcast.
No one knows where we work.
But yeah.
Just for the sake of not naming her, should we call her Lisa H?
Yeah, so like I was talking to her about like, cause I was like, are all the kids into the fidget spinners where you're working? She was like, oh, they're a nightmare. They're banning them like officially in her school like from next week, but at the moment she's telling the kids, "No, put that away," and the kids like, "It's for me ADHD." Like, no, it's not.
The ADHD, I love that. I'm going to use that in work.
But yeah, we've just been playing with them, like,
Yeah.
and the fidget spinner.
Inman broke the bank, bought a £20 one.
Yeah, I got the
Solid gold.
like a brass one. So
It's mad though because like it shouldn't be as good as it is.
Yeah, it shouldn't be as addictive as it's becoming.
No,
you just sit there and you think, oh, I'm just spinning this around. What am I doing? But then you just carry on.
Yeah.
for our film review of the week, I watched most of that film spinning it.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Nick said the same thing. I did it as well. Like,
I felt like I was concentrating more on the film.
Yeah.
I actually thought that, you know, I thought like this is actually helping me concentrate on the film. Like, if otherwise, I'd be having my phone out or something.
Yeah, I did read something. It's a bit of a boring thing, but apparently it's to do with nervous energy or something, and you're more focused when you're doing that because your bored energy is going into something else. Yeah.
But
So there might be a bit of a
I
logic
did
to
it
it.
for that long. Obviously, like you're getting a bit of wind from the bottom of it. My hand actually went cold.
Yeah,
Kind of cold handed.
like a little portable fan.
So yeah, fidget spinners.
Yeah.
What else have we? I bought a fidget cube recently. Josh, you've also
Yeah, I
bought
just
one.
bought a fidget cube today.
We have different opinions on these.
Yeah, my novelty wore off. To be fair, I bought a fidget cube with a fidget spinner, and the fidget spinner will always win.
I bought my fidget cube over the weekend, last weekend, with the Polish money I found. And yeah, that was. I proper loved that. But then I got a fidget spinner, and I feel like it's revolutionised my life.
There it is.
So yeah, I feel so much better. I feel like a gangster now.
You do it. You feel like you're just breaking out the hand to deal drugs or something. Gonna buy some shiny things.
I hold it in hand, and just good things happen.
I nearly bought one of the light up ones, but I felt like that would annoy me.
Oh
Really
yeah,
annoying
I spotted the
me.
light up ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're a bit too kiddish, aren't they? I think the.
No,
I don't know. I've got a light up yo-yo in there. But
Oh, I've got a light up yo-yo.
Yo-yo's another thing.
Oh yeah,
I was going to say in the
yeah.
last week's episode we were talking about this being everyone's latest fad, but like this week we just come out, oh, it's got a whole nother fad
we've just
now.
moved on now. Yeah,
It's like we're going back through the 90s again, but within like the space of a month.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Talking about like light up yo-yos and that, and like whether light up fidget spinners are a good idea or not. I'm actually looking at buying a pair of light up trainers. Now is that?
Oh, them ones with the absolute ring of LEDs around.
But I don't know. Can I get away with that?
If
as
you
a
can
28-year-old?
if you can shuffle and a fit,
I can try.
then yeah.
Yeah, I'll just have to keep away from any epileptics. Yeah. All right.
To carry a warning sign. Watch out.
Well, we're gonna come to do the film of the week later in the show, but Sam, you've got to go in like 8 minutes because you're off drinking again. So
I am off drinking again.
you are literally
got
off.
another
Literally.
pub date. Yeah.
Live the gimmick. Just
Just playing up to my character, reinforcing.
Living the dream, really.
yeah.
Commitment. You're actually developing an alcohol problem.
Documented evidence.
Well, our film of the week was The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. By
the coward Robert Ford,
By
yeah.
the cow and Robert Ford.
Yeah.
We're going to come on to that later, but Sam, do you want to give us your thoughts on that? Because you've actually watched our film for the show this time.
Yeah, I mean, episode 1 that I was on, it was Sinister.
Yeah.
I seem to remember, and I didn't watch that.
But you did rate the trailer.
Rated the trailer.
Yeah.
I watched half the trailer, to be
Yeah.
honest.
He was a full trailer.
What do you think of the trailer for The Assassination of Jesse
I
James?
didn't
by the
watch,
coward Robert Ford?
well, I didn't watch the trailer for it.
We watched the film.
You watched the actual
so-
film this time,
Yeah,
right? Okay.
true to my other characteristic though, I watched it in 3 parts.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
I
we've talked
thought as much.
Talked about my viewing habits before, so
I love you living the gimmick.
So I think last night watched 40 minutes. This morning watched another like hour, and then another like hour this afternoon.
Okay.
So there's moments where sort of like the characters I was gonna sort of have a conversation and sort of say I was getting a bit confused with whose cousin.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
and everything
Okay.
like that.
No, I was completely lost.
Between the
Oh, right,
Fords and the Jameses, and then you have like I've got the names up here. I've got IMDb.
You've got
so
Woodhite.
You got Woodhite, Ed Miller,
Dick Little, yeah.
Like the other three sort of main characters in it. So like they just kind of get thrown in, and you kind of think, well, they're cousins, and well, I think Woodhite was Jesse James's cousin.
Yeah, that's right.
He
Yeah.
was the character that confused me.
Is that Jeremy Renner?
Jeremy Renner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know that whole scene of where he came in with long hair and started shooting, and they had that gunfight in the bedroom? Didn't
Yeah.
understand that in one.
That was to do
bit.
with his stepmom, Dick Little seducing his stepmom. Is that right?
I can't. This is the thing. I think that was early on in the film. So in my first viewing,
Right.
Yeah.
That was 5 nights ago now.
so that must have been in the first part of my viewing, which I seem to have forgotten by the second part of the viewing,
Right.
which is maybe where my viewing habit is a bit of a downfall. Then like I think there was a part where Ed Miller was in the first viewing, but Woodhite, yeah, he storms up the stairs and sort of like starts shooting, and it's like obviously guns in those days they're literally next to each other and the shots are like bouncing off the walls next to them, sort of
Well, it's
like,
almost true, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
we're terrible for their accuracy.
except for when Robert Ford
Yeah, his gun was from the future.
He's a crack shot.
Yeah, a sniper.
Yeah, pretty much both his shots in the film are just like
Yeah, no
Crack
issue.
But to be fair, he shoots them in the back of the head. So you know, he can hit a stationary target.
no, like the Woodhite that confused me a little bit, but then I just kind of got over it. And
Yeah.
so, like, you carry on watching the film, but there are just other parts where he goes and visits Ed Miller, and I wasn't sure why quite he was visiting Ed Miller and stuff like that.
Which one
Well,
was Ed Miller?
He's the one who you come back to later. He tells Charlie how he killed him.
Was he the really scared man who was like
A
middle-aged?
bit nervous, yeah.
The one who was on the horse who got shot.
Yeah, he seemed
Yeah.
was he quite sick at the time? Like he looked
Yeah.
ill. Like
I actually
when
thought he looked like Robert Ford to an extent.
Right. It just felt to me like he was quite a nervy character.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
he was kind of. He only actually visited him out of just to go and see how he was,
right.
and he was acting like a nervous wreck, and that's why he did what he did.
Bit of a liability. Yeah. I don't know how much we want to go to it now because I know you're going to review it.
Yeah, if I can jump
more
in and moderate
efficiently
this
later.
discussion.
Yeah.
I'll try.
Sam,
and
you got any more points you want to bring up
try
about
to
the
get
film?
Oh, sorry, I interrupted.
Some of like the filmmaking aspects of it, like there's a lot of, I don't know whether this is true form for the director, but like there's a lot of fade-ins and fade-outs and crossfades between sort of scenes and.
I really found it to be very artistic, the film.
I
Like,
did quite
there's
like
very,
a lot of it.
very like beautiful shots, wasn't there, a lot of time?
Yeah.
Some
I've
really
got a load
nice-
of notes about that later on.
Because it's
Yeah,
obviously very countryside, like landscapes, stuff like that. They're
Yeah.
really, really nicely shot. And sort of when he does shoot Ed Miller, he sort of gets on his horse and rides off, and you just see like his white face, and you get like the white trees in the background, like white, but like the no leaves on them or anything,
Yeah.
dead trees and stuff like that.
I will go
That's
into it in detail
really
later, but the way they've like reenacted, is that the right word? Not reenacted. Reconstructed that era. It looks quite authentic, you know, for 1880 or whatever it is. Yeah.
Sort of like the around the outsides are a bit faded. Stuff like
Yeah.
that. They seem
Yeah,
to,
was
they
that
seem to
meant
be
to be
like
his
mix of
eyesight?
memory.
Jesse James'
It's-
eyesight.
I don't know if it's that or whether it's supposed to give a authentic kind of feel for that type of western.
Yeah, I've got a note of that. Like the cinematographer Roger Deakins does a lot of stuff like that. Called a fisheye lens, I believe, when it like makes everything around the
Kind of,
picture
yeah.
look really blurred and kind of thing. It, again, just trying to put you in that time of 1880. I feel like
Yeah, a nostalgic feel.
yeah.
I was
Yeah.
kind of thinking, is that someone's like kind of memories? Because it's narrated, not like all the way through, but like
It feels dreamlike, doesn't it? Yeah, like
line from bits. So it's almost like or like there's someone telling this story from their sort of like imagination kind
I
of
think
thing.
you'd have
That's
that.
why it's blurred around the edges. So.
Yeah, I think you could have that as a valid interpretation.
yeah.
Like theory.
Yeah.
No, overall, like the film, and sort of it got to a point where I think we covered this before we started recording, but like whether we thought the title of the film was actually going to play out, whether
Yeah.
it was going to be
Yeah.
Robert Ford that actually did the assassination.
Yeah.
But I'll leave that for you to discuss later on.
Yeah.
Right,
when
okay.
I get out. Overall, really like the film. It's a long film. It's about
very
2 hours 40, 2 hours 45.
2 hours, 40
Yeah,
minutes,
that's
yeah.
For me, that I find that that's a long film. Obviously, like watch it in stages, but really enjoyed it. I would probably watch it again. I like the characters in it. Casey Affleck comes across really, really nice.
Gotta ask you
he
what you
was
think of
brilliant
Casey,
actor in
yeah.
that.
Really good,
Yeah.
He was
really
better
good.
than Brad Pitt. I
It's sort of
thought.
he's portraying like a 20-year-old, but in the film, when he was filming it, because it's quite an old film. Like I didn't
Yeah,
realize
10 years
it's
now.
10 years ago now.
Yeah.
Like that it came out. It's sort of he was 31 when he was.
Oh, was
when
it?
he was, portraying sort of like a 20-year-old. I think he looks even younger than 20, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
Just the way he smiled, I thought that was quite creepy.
He
I really
does come
like
across
that.
creepy. But like,
He's quite a creepy guy anyway, isn't he? Like he pulls off weird quite well.
Have you
Yeah.
seen that Manchester by the Sea? Like he was
But-
quite
I wanna
weird in that, to be honest.
Yeah, have you watched that, Nick? Yeah.
I watched a bit.
It's a similar kind of film, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
He's a similar character in that.
Yeah,
and,
he's
but
quite-
he's great, though, isn't he? In both?
I love Casey
Yeah.
Affleck.
rating out of 5, I'd give it sort of a between a 4 and 4.5. It's
That's a
very-
high rating.
Yeah.
I think it's a great film. It's really well, nicely like.
Okay.
I can see you giving it that. Definitely.
It flows throughout. I don't think there's any stage where I just sort like, even though I watch it three parts, but
It just flew night after night.
I think like there's no sort of like downtime in it where you just sort of like you're plodding along. I think like each scene has its valid points and to add into the story.
We'll go on to that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do disagree with that. I think there are plodding.
Oh, well, I was going to say, I feel, I agree with Inman, but I think it's good that it does that, considering there's no plot to the film, basically. It's just, you know, it flows really well, considering not much is happening, you know, in terms of what you're watching.
I read like before we finish off on this, like the name of the actual film was written into Brad Pitt's contract. So when it got re-edited, they were never going to name it anything else. It was in Brad Pitt's contract that the film will be called this.
Yeah.
Was that like his choice or?
I don't know if it was his choice or not, but when he signed up, he was like,
produce it, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was
Plan B is his production company,
Right.
I did not know that.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was written in the contract where you cannot name anything else. So.
Just to jump onto another topic there, like he also did Killing Them Softly with the same director from like 5 years ago. And that's very similar. The film's really hard to watch, but he demanded, you know, no changes being made. There's a point to this film, kind of thing.
Loosely, while we're on Brad Pitt, how is he not like insane out of work, or is he insane out of work? Because in this film, he it's obviously really, really good acting, but he in certain shots, like when they all sit down and have a family meal, and he just does all like the fake laughing, and then later on, when he sat down on the couch and he's massaging.
Casey,
Casey, and it's like he just goes insane and then just like switches out of it. And it's just like, it's really good acting. But then there are other films where he plays like a bit of a madman. Like Fight Club, he's a bit of a.
I've got to admit, I'm going to mention it later, but Brad Pitt is one of the actors. I do like him; he's really good, but a lot of the time he's just Brad Pitt to me. You know, when you're watching him, it's hard to get out of that Brad Pitt.
Yeah, it's not one style of acting.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree with that. No, I think that's in mine.
Well, that's you done for this week, isn't it, Sam?
Yeah, I'll love you, leave you, and go out and have a drink. I think.
Yeah, the beers are waiting.
Get leathered.
Right. Okay.
Really are living up to this alcoholic story we've built.
Kayfabing us, living the entire life.
This is our first walkout on the podcast.
I know. Right. Sam's left the Don't Spoil the Ending studio for this week.
Yep, stormed out.
Yep. For our first walkout. Yeah.
Going to get his required alcohol intake.
Yes.
Yeah. The shakes were setting in.
He was starting to shake, I think.
I could see in his eyes. It's like speed, where instead of keeping above 50 miles an hour, he's going to keep above like 7 or 8 units in the blood.
I'm just picturing like Inman on a bus now. Like, I need 50 more beers. Get me the beer.
It's like that film. You know, the one where he has to electrocute himself to keep.
Crank.
Crank. It's like that, but Inman has to have a certain amount of beers, otherwise his heart will give way.
Just going from like off license to pub to off license.
You know, we've done it again. He was even on the podcast, and we've still carried on just talking.
Yeah. All right. Well. Yeah. Anyway, this is going to sound strange for a podcast, but we're going to go back to our weekly sort of roundup, and then we'll come back to the film, because that's just the way we're doing it.
Yeah, off the cuff.
It's just how we roll.
It's just how we're doing it.
We're just vibing. We're just vibing now.
Just vibing, yo.
Jamming.
Yeah.
Jamming. Bob Marley. Get it out.
Yeah.
Would you like your donuts?
I watched Deadpool again this week, and I know we all have different opinions on this film, so that's why I'm bringing it up. But I quite like Deadpool. I don't think it's a great. Well.
Oh.
So, yeah, I mean, I enjoyed Deadpool. I think it's a funny film. I think all the jokes pretty much land.
Yeah.
Every single one.
It's a certain type of humour, but maybe John's gotten a bit too old for this humour now.
John's
Maybe that's what it
John's
is.
got a
But
very dry sense of humour, though, hasn't he?
Maybe.
Yeah, I have, but I love Deadpool.
Yeah.
it's the. I don't want to go too deep into it, but it's what I call like Family Guy humour kind of thing. Where
Hang on. Let me stop you there.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched an episode of Family Guy?
I think I watched the Star Wars ones. Well, one of them.
And
That doesn't really have
Right.
consequences, though.
and yeah, but the Star Wars one, he came in and went, but then when people started saying bits of the episode, oh yeah, I like that bit. Oh, that bit was good, yeah. So like he said he didn't like the episode, but every part of it he liked. Just as a whole, he didn't like it.
Yeah. As a whole, it was.
Like he actually enjoyed every bit of it individually, but when he put it all together, it didn't quite gel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One Family Guy thing I have seen was when South Park do their parody of it.
Again,
And
your
I do-
opinion is made up of a parody by another show.
And I do kind of agree with their point on that. And it's the referencing that I don't like, you see. I don't like referencing other... I just don't find it funny, the whole
you
reference.
think that's bad?
But John, that's why I think you should watch American Dad. Because it's
Yeah.
the same kind of like humour kind of thing, but like it's not referencing anything. It's just like story based.
Yeah, it's more of a story in it.
And even though I don't like Family Guy, I did like Ted, the first one. So
You
I thought that was
probably
quite funny.
like American Dad then, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's not. Like, I actually prefer it to Family Guy myself. To be
Oh,
honest.
really?
Yeah.
I felt I was going that way as well. I feel like American Dad is, at least a couple of years ago when I was watching both regularly.
Yeah.
Family Guy was dropping off a bit. American Dad was coming
it
up
has
a bit.
been for years now, hasn't it? Family
Yeah.
Guy. But American Dad, I've always I still like
I
it.
just one of my favourite moments of Family Guy was when I think Peter's like designing a toy and he basically designs a cactus, and it's basically just puts a face on a cactus and then puts a little hat on it and it vibrates. just looks like a vibrator with a face on it. But he's like, look at this great toy.
I always love the songs on Family Guy myself.
Yeah.
I like there's that the FCC song.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
that, that was a good one. But yeah, like I say, it's gone down it. Like I think Seth MacFarlane stopped writing for it though, like quite a few years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
And literally, like it was funny then, like when he was writing for him, and when it stopped, for some reason, he just got really like grim. Like it just like the humour was dark as fuck. Like John liked him out like that. To be fair.
Yeah, that yeah.
Yeah, I quite like that.
But like it started getting really dark. Like Mega just be killed. Like and I'm like, wait, am I supposed to laugh at this? This isn't funny.
But they actually killed Brian off, didn't they? They killed Brian off for a
Wasn't
few
that written by the
episodes.
Game of Thrones
Yeah, that
guy?
was written
Was
by
it?
George Martin.
Oh, right, okay.
That's why.
Yeah, they killed off, like, John, to fill you in. Brian is the dog for the family.
I do remember hearing about this when the
Yeah.
dog died, and it was a big deal.
It was a big deal. They replaced him with another dog. It's kind of like when you Coke brought in new Coke and then brought back classic Coke.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what
A
happened.
bit like Poochie.
Yeah.
But then, like, I'm pretty sure there's loads of petitions, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
"What are you doing? Bring me dog back.
Yeah.
Bring Brian back." And then they did.
They just did it anyway, yeah.
It literally, Stu went back in time and literally saved him from dying. Like, oh, what the hell?
The new dog was from the guy from Sopranos, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was.
What, the main guy? Gandolfini?
No.
Oh,
Not the one who died. The other one, the older guy with grey
Right.
hair. I can't remember.
I do kind of know what you mean, like, yeah.
I've only seen season 1 of Sopranos, so I can't say too much about it.
I've never watched The Sopranos. That's
No,
on my
yeah, that's on my list.
on my list to watch. Yeah.
It's most people's favourite, but I couldn't get into it, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I'm dying to watch it.
To be fair, I started watching it immediately after Breaking Bad, so I was a bit like, nothing compares.
Yeah.
I don't know, because some people think Sopranos is better than Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
But
Like-
it did come first, so I think sometimes
Is it
what
like
you
the
watch
whole-
first is
Yeah.
what you think's better kind of thing. But
Some people have it's what do they call it? It's like a modern, like a recency bias.
yeah, that's it.
And then some people have a nostalgia bias. So you can't
Yeah.
win.
Like you'll watch a film when you're like 3 years old and be like, "Oh, it's the best film I've ever seen." Then you go back and watch it now and you're like, "What? What's happening?"
3 years old. I don't remember any films I watched when I was 3 years
Oh,
old.
I do.
John remembers when he was first born.
Yeah, remember Ghostbusters 1984? Remember that well.
I was a baby when I was born. I remember it well.
Well, to bring it back to Deadpool.
Oh yeah.
Why else don't you like it other than Family Guy jokes?
It's just the comedy. I mean, when I say I don't like it, I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5. So
Yeah.
a bit like the Doctor Strange thing. I sound really
Yeah.
negative about it, but it's just the humour I'm not a big fan of. The actual film itself, I'm fine with.
I see. That's it though. I'd probably give Deadpool a 3.5.
Yeah.
We've done it again where me and you completely disagree on a film. We give it the same.
And we've got the
rating.
same. Yeah. Or if anything, mine could be better than yours.
To be fair, I usually hate fourth wall breaking. I usually can't stand that. But Deadpool do it perfectly.
But that and the jokes, they're all sourced from the comic. Like,
Yeah.
It's not like any of that was.
Oh no, it's all to do with all character specific. Yeah.
It's even the jokes about X-Men where he makes the McAvoy jokes and stuff, and he's like, oh, we're gonna have to take you to the professor, and he's like, oh, is it McAvoy or Stewart?
Yeah.
It's just stuff like that I enjoyed. But
Sorry, there's one joke that I really didn't like where he calls the little girl with a shaved head, calls her Ripley from Alien 3, and it's just like, I don't know, I don't like
Why
that.
don't you like that?
I don't like it.
He calls her Sinead O'Connor as well.
Sinead O'Connor.
Do you mind that?
I don't know, just something about that kind of humour I just don't like.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
I mean,
it's just personal taste, isn't it, with comedy?
Yeah.
the only thing that ever ruined that film for me was that me and my girlfriend watched the trailers there was quite a few trailers before that came out.
They marketed it for each person.
But it was just all the funny bits of the film were pretty much all in the trailers. So when you went to see it at the cinema, I kind of already knew all the jokes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as a film, I like it. I've got it on Blu-ray.
So what's your rating again?
I'll probably give it. It's a 3.5 for me.
Yeah, I probably agree. Maybe a 3, around there.
Yeah,
for
I
me.
mean, when I first watched it, I'd give it like a 4.5. But as time goes on, I'd maybe bump it up to a 4, but probably 3.5 is the lowest I could go.
And can I ask, following on from that, what do you all think of the Deadpool 2 trailer that they showed a month or two ago?
I thought it looked great. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Where he goes into the phone box. I thought that was really funny.
It's the cinema in the background as well, because it's obviously it was getting shown around the time of Logan being in cinemas, and the cinema in the background has just got Logan on it. It's just,
I actually never noticed that.
yeah. So Deadpool's just outside the cinema showing Logan, trying to change into his outfit.
There's been a whole Twitter war between Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, hasn't there?
Oh, really?
When the film came out, Logan, there was a lot of bitching back and forth and having a pop at each other.
I don't think it was serious. I think
It's all
they're quite
for
good
the film,
friends, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
Is Wolverine going to be in the new Deadpool film?
Ooh, I don't know.
Well,
I doubt it.
Jackman's literally not doing the character anymore. Logan was his last portrayal of him, wasn't it?
Probably his best.
Yeah, I agree.
Still not seen it.
I watched it the other week again, last weekend actually. I think.
Is it on?
Yeah, it's on DVD.
Yeah, I mean, with Logan, I was looking up. We're thinking of doing a show in a couple of weeks, John, about our favourite films and that. And so I was looking at what people.
That is quite. No, sorry. I thought you were on about the superhero thing you mentioned.
You talking?
Yes,
sorry.
I'm
Are you
about
talking about next week?
Next week, yeah.
Yeah, but we still have to sort that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Logan's already entered IMDb.
I am baby.
I am baby. It's already entered IMDb's top it's number 80 or something on the top 100 films ever.
Wow.
And that's in the history of time.
What's number one? I'm actually really curious now, to be
I
honest.
think
Best films ever.
Yes.
Not just comic book films.
No.
it's either The Godfather.
I think it was The Godfather.
Was it The Godfather?
Yeah, it was The Godfather.
I've actually still not ever seen that
I
film.
think Dark
yeah.
Knight Rises might have been not.
It's
not,
it's in the
Dark
top.
Knight Rises
It's
is
in the top
2.
5 or something.
Yeah, they're like the top. Shawshank Redemption's one
that should
of
be.
the top 3.
No, but Logan.
I have to say though about the Dark Knight Rising, I just didn't care.
A lot of people don't like part 3, but it's my favourite.
No, sorry,
probably, but...
it's not the one.
the Joker one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what's
that's
Dark
what I'm
Knight.
about the joke.
Dark
Well,
Knight, sorry, that's
Every one of that Batman trilogy is in that IMDb top 100.
Yeah. Hey, all 3 of the Lord of the Ring films are I think they're all top 20.
Oh, are they?
So,
Cool.
Just have to put a bit of Lord of the Rings in
Throw
there.
that in somewhere.
Can
You're all
I
against the mic, Nick.
can I fire one quick question in again? Is Logan your favourite X-Men film? I know you've not seen it, Josh, but
Yeah, mate.
have you got another favourite X-Men film? Or
Yeah.
Can you class that as an X-Men film?
yes, part of the
It is.
universe.
I'm almost embarrassed to say, but my other favourite X-Men film was the one that everyone hates. It was X-Men First Class.
Oh, I love First Class.
Wait, was it First Class? No, it might not be First Class. What was the third one?
Oh, The Last Stand.
Yes, The Last Stand. That was my favourite, sorry.
I've got to admit, I hated it at the time, but I do kind of like it now, though.
Everyone hated that film.
Yeah.
I loved it, though.
Yeah.
Juggernaut as... Who was that? Vinnie Jones?
Yeah. I'm the Juggernaut, bitch!
He's a dickhead, isn't he?
You two, is it your favourite, Logan?
I feel I get stressed out trying to class that as an X-Men film.
Really?
Are we including Deadpool in?
Deadpool's in there, yeah.
In the X-Men film.
If you're classing
favourite?
Deadpool, all right. If you're going to say what's your favourite X-Men film,
Well, he is.
and you're throwing Deadpool in the
He
mix,
is
I'm
technically-
picking Deadpool.
It's just that you only gave me 3.5.
He's technically a Deadpool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He is-
if
he is
we're
an
going-
you've ruined the rating
I
system.
know, if we're going Deadpool, and yeah, definitely
He's an X-Man,
Deadpool.
no, isn't he?
Deadpool,
So-
then.
I feel like I need to bump my rating up to a 4 now because I'm sure I gave Logan like a 4.5. Or
And
something.
Colossus was in it, who was from like some of the
Alright.
X-Men films.
I tell you what, I reckon Logan's might be the best
Okay.
film.
Like,
If you're
I-
classing that as an X-Men film,
Like
Definitely.
I love Deadpool, but like that would be number 2. Like Logan's my.
Yeah, Logan's
I
better.
need
Logan
to see
is-
this film.
It is a like for even people who don't like superhero films. Like I'd recommend this film to them because
it didn't feel like I edited together an episode where I went into the don't spoil the ending basement.
we did talk about it on there,
Yeah.
didn't we?
Yeah, we spoke about it on there.
Yeah. Just to mention, Logan is not my favourite film, but I'll just tease that for the future comic book episode.
Yeah, Josh,
Yeah.
I'll tell you about this afterwards. But
This
we're
is-
going to do a superhero specific episode,
Oh, cool.
and we're going to rank the superhero films in order, and we're going to lock ourselves in a room.
And we can't leave until we've got a list agreed upon between all of us.
Oh, you have to wait for me for this.
Yeah, so like we'll make sure we get it organised while you're there. But we're going to basically put every comic hit film ever onto a list and make a top 10, and we all have to agree on it.
4 weeks from today, he'll be.
Like the Man Thing will be number 1.
Yeah.
Howard the Duck number 2. Definitely. These are my top 2.
The new Fantastic Four, number 3.
What's going to be the criteria?
The criteria is just good films.
Oh, so the films in general, not like the powers of the people in the films.
No, comic book films. That'll be
Regardless of Marvel or DC, all of them.
It could be
if you can think of
Marvel.
any other one that is relatively comic related, then that is
I
included.
mean, we're not going to TV shows, are we?
No,
We're not doing that.
sack
So,
Daredevil off and have an
of all time, so like,
Yeah, of all time, yeah.
Ben Affleck's Daredevil.
yeah.
Yeah.
Would you have League of Extraordinary Gentlemen?
Yeah, you can count
Yeah,
that.
you could,
Based on a
anything
comic.
that's based on a comic or has a comic made of it. You could pick all
God,
sorts.
do you know how many films that is?
Yeah, but like we're gonna make a big list, and then the top 10 we're gonna make, and then from that top 10 we're gonna decide the order.
Can we hereby call it the Comic Book Manifesto?
Yeah,
Good.
if you want.
We've been talking
Yeah, let's.
Oh yeah, what we're talking about?
Since you started talking about Deadpool, we've been talking about it for 20 minutes now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's pack that in then. I spent a lot of time last weekend watching wrestling.
Oh yeah.
I watched New Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle Kingdom 11 from January. That was amazing. I won't spend much time on this, but I'm going to tell you about it. I'd say the most respected and most respected wrestling journalist who's an independent is a guy called Dave Meltzer, and he gives matches like 5 stars out of whatever, 5 stars.
Yeah, you mentioned him before, haven't you?
Yes.
I think has he got a podcast that he does?
Yeah, he does Wrestling Observer newsletter, which is behind the paywall a lot of the time, with Brian Alvarez. But basically, he gives match ratings stars out of 5, and it's rare to get a 5-star match. So WWE hasn't had a 5-star match for about 6 or 7 years now.
Oh wow.
So he doesn't give them very often. I think in the history of like time, he's given about 80 5-star ratings. A lot of them happen in Japan.
Are they that good in Japan?
Well, yeah. So this is what I was watching. I put Wrestle Kingdom 11 on, and he gave the main event 6 out of 5 stars. And this is a guy who's the most respected wrestling journalist you can get, and he gave us this is the 3rd time he's ever gave 6 stars to a match ever in history. One was some Japanese match from the 80s that I can't recall. Another one was a match between Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat.
The Dragon?
Yeah, the Dragon. But that was on a house show, untelevised.
Oh really?
So
no one can question
Yeah.
his
No,
his rating.
So like of the modern day, this was his first 6-star match in decades, and I watched it.
Would that
and
have been like late 80s Ric Flair?
I think that would have been late 80s, that
Yeah.
one. But yeah, I watched the whole show, loved every minute of it, and then watched the main event. And then afterwards, I was like, do you know what? That might be the best wrestling match I've ever watched. It was a match between Okada, who's Japan's answer to what you would if you had Roman Reigns now. I'm only looking at you here, John, because I know you're into it.
Has he had any sit-star matches yet?
No.
Oh.
No. If Roman Reigns is like the Japanese equivalent, if everyone loved Roman Reigns. So, like, they've picked the guy who's dead good, gave him the belt, and he's just smashing everything. He's just the best. And he faced an American called Kenny Omega, who's part
I think I've heard of that. Maybe you've mentioned it before.
I've probably mentioned it before. But, yeah, it was a 6-star match. It was amazing.
Right.
That entire show was great. See, with New Japan now, I'll get off this now, but New Japan are now catering to the Western audience and they're providing English commentary.
Right.
So, like, I'm bang on that. Like,
So what was so good about it compared to like WWE? To give it 6 stars.
It was the work, the in-ring work,
Yeah.
the storytelling of the match and the psychology of how it all played out, as well as having mental spots and just different things they were doing. So normally in WWE, you'll get a table out and someone's gone through that, and then you've got another table and then someone goes through that. On this one, they teased this table spot for a while in the match, and then when it eventually happened, it looked gruesome. And it was amazing, but it was just the entire thing from start to finish. And at the end of it, you could tell everyone who watched it there live, and even the commentators were like, "We've just watched something special here.
Yeah.
Like that was a special match." And like when I watched it, I was kind of like, "Yeah." If you can imagine me sat there holding a glass of wine, going, I enjoyed that match. That was definitely right up there for me.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. So I just watched a lot of wrestling over the weekend, but that was the highlight, watching that 6-star match. Yeah, that was what I did.
Cool. The only thing I really did was I don't know if you guys know, but Wednesday was Alien Day.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Happy Alien Day for Wednesday.
Yes.
Yeah. One of these manufactured.
As in the film Alien, yeah.
The new Alien Covenant.
Well, it's just a day.
Yeah, it was Alien Day on Wednesday just gone. They showed Prometheus, followed by Alien, followed by like 25 minutes of footage from Covenant at the end.
I know, no. So where's this at?
It was at all cinemas were showing it, but at Westbrook I went to.
Oh wow, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Never heard of that. God, I would have went there.
Went along to that. I don't like the whole manufacturing of Alien Day, you know, like they do like a Back to the Future Day every year and stuff, and it's like, oh, get rid of that, like, we don't
I'm
need...
quite surprised you're not up for that.
I don't like
I didn't know
manufacturing
Do you
stuff.
know what today is? It's National Superhero Day.
Is it really?
Actually.
This would have been the best thing for the podcast.
I forgot to mention that. It's National Superhero Day today.
That would fit in perfectly, that. But yeah, I went along to the showing for Alien Day. Loved Prometheus. I absolutely love it. I know a lot of people hate it, but 5-star film for me. Watched Alien Director's Cut, loved it, 5-star film. And then the footage of Covenant at the end, it's a bit very spoilery. It reveals 4 deaths of the crew in the footage. Looks really interesting. The CGI is a little bit ropey, I think, in my opinion, but just a little bit of a spoiler. There's baby aliens knocking about, and they look weird. Like, to the point of, like, just like a computer graphic on the screen. It looks really weird.
As in the xenomorphs.
Yeah.
So I was under the impression they grew exponentially quickly.
Well, yeah, you literally watch them grow, and it looks really weird. Do you know Alien, when the chest burster pops out?
Yeah, it's like an hour later it's full.
Yeah, a little white alien, and it just shoots off. In this, they pop out, and you're watching them literally like grow as they're trying to kill people and stuff, and it looks really odd, I think. But
That sounds cool.
that's the thing. Like, you might find it cool, you know, cool.
I find it cute.
I find it cool, bro.
Chill, bro. See those aliens grow on the screen, bro.
Yeah, you might like it. And it might not be finished. It might not be finished effects kind of thing. They might finish it for the actual film next week, but it just looks a bit too CGI to me. But yeah, very, very good, interesting. Yep, can't wait for that. And got to watch a whole bit of, like, I presume is the prologue to the film, of what David gets up to after Prometheus, and that is like amazing. Well, I think it was amazing. Yeah, can I spoil it or?
I mean, I'd rather no.
Oh,
I wanted you to. I was curious.
Yeah,
you can actually watch this bit online now.
John, what's the name of the show?
Don't spoil the ending.
This is the
think you
prologue.
said I was
the start of this. I can spoil the start to it.
We're gonna rename this one. Don't spoil the start.
We spoil the ending to every film we ever review. And
Yeah.
every TV show.
I've never thought about that.
It's an ironic.
It's an ironic title, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Right. Okay. We maybe need to.
But I mean, you could go online now and watch this online, so it's not really that big a spoiler.
All right. We'll speak about it.
Can I tell you?
If it's widely available for free, you may as well.
David at the end of Prometheus flies off in that spaceship filled with like alien canisters
Yes.
with the black goo.
Yep.
And he goes to the engineer homeworld and bombs that planet with which looks amazing.
Cool.
Yeah.
That sounds dead good.
Yeah.
You were talking about maybe some of the effects weren't finished or something like that.
Yeah.
Did anyone ever see that leaked copy of Wolverine that came out a few years ago?
I did, yeah.
Where it was basically, was it the first or the second Wolverine?
The first one.
The first one.
With Deadpool as well in that
Yes. Yeah, that got leaked before it came out, and it got leaked without any of like the CG effects in it. So it was just this weird.
It was Hugh Jackman kind of floating around on wires for a lot of it. Just,
But it was like the film.
yeah. The whole film with no special effects.
Strange.
I've never heard of this.
Have you that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh shit.
It's worth looking out for anywhere legal. Like, don't look anywhere illegal.
I actually watched the whole film without special effects, thinking it just killed the film for me.
What possible legal sites did you find this on then? YouTube, yeah.
It might have been a special showing at the cinema.
Let's get a popcorn. There was just an empty box. There was no popcorn. Can I have a drink? No. Have some. Yeah.
I have a question. You can cut this out if you need to. In regards to the superhero films based on comic books, do we include Sin City?
Yeah.
Good.
Definitely.
Because that's such a good film. I've still not seen number 2, you know.
Neither have I. No, we spoke about it.
Got it on
last week,
Blu-ray
didn't
if you want to lend it for a future show.
I think we should do that for next show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not picking out of a hat for next week.
Um,
Oh wait, no, because
I'll talk to you off air on that about that. well, like, let's take a break now,
Okay.
and I'll talk to you about
Okay.
that. Okay.
Wait for the can.
Sweet.
There we go. We're back rolling.
Back live.
I mean,
Back in the Don't Spoil the Ending studios. Okay.
World headquarters.
We're upgrading world domination.
I mean, are we going? Are we starting?
Yeah, we've started. we're back rolling.
The only thing I wanted to mention, which I've been watching this week, years old, but I've been watching Scrubs. I don't know if you've ever watched Scrubs.
Scrubs is great.
Scrubs is good. We've been watching Scrubs.
I started watching Scrubs from the beginning. Absolutely love it. It's so fun. I didn't realise though when I watched it when I was younger how bloody cringy it is. Like I was sat like, oh bloody yeah, you can't do that. You can't say that. It's so cringy.
I was always on JD's side when I was younger, watching JD go, no, Dr. Cox needs a friend, but as I'm watching it as I'm older now, and Dr. Cox is like, no, go away, I have a separate life from the hospital. I totally get that now.
Is that episode with the funeral? Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I think so.
It's his brother, and he's just lost it. For the entire episode, he keeps seeing his brother. This is, what's his name?
JD.
No, Dr. Cox.
Dr. Cox.
Yeah.
I didn't know he had a brother.
No,
I remember this episode.
Oh, I don't want to spoil it then.
No,
Well, no,
I've seen it.
I'm
literally
bound
watched
to
it.
have seen it.
I've watched every episode.
Okay, it's the episode where his brother dies, but you don't find out until the end of the episode, and he's been popping up through every scene. The end,
No, I do remember this, yeah.
At the very end, you find out that he's at the funeral, but he's just been seeing him through the whole episode.
Oh.
But it's dead sad.
No,
Sounds
like
depressing.
Dr. Cox, like even though it's a comedy show, like, and he's probably like one of the funniest characters, if not the funniest character on the show. Like he's so good at making you feel.
Yeah, he's,
Yeah.
he's the
Oh,
hero.
like there's, and I think it was like a season finale where like he was trying to, like obviously save these patients from dying because that's his job, and he just weren't able to, and he just went into this like depression, like, and everyone was trying to like talk him around, but he was just like depressed because he basically, I think it was like 3 patients or something. He wasn't able to save, and like you start like going, oh god no.
No.
Kind of sad now.
He's the dad of the show. the good dad.
But you've never really watched that, have you? Joe?
Never watched it.
Have you not?
No, never. I know Zach Braff and stuff, but I've never
Yeah.
really watched any of his stuff. Garden
What's he
State,
like?
never seen that. So
You said you know him. What's he like?
yeah, it's a good guy.
Top bloke.
Like, does he share the bill?
yeah, that kind of guy. Yeah,
We got any more before we go to the next
never
film?
watched it, but no, I've got nothing else.
Nothing.
I've been watching Trailer Park Boys this
Okay.
week.
Alright.
Have you guys seen Trailer Park Boys?
Has anyone ever seen it?
I've heard loads about it, but never
tell
watched
them about
it.
It's in my opinion, and most opinions.
Actually, this is the point because you like the UK office, you like the US office.
You're pointing at John and then me.
Yeah.
John likes the UK office. Joe likes the US office. This is rated probably higher than them. Like
Yeah,
as a
this
whole.
is the best mockumentary rated. This is the one that started it all, supposedly.
I'm not having it.
Okay.
Have you ever watched it?
No.
Then shut up.
I do believe earlier you were saying to John, like, have you ever actually watched the episode of Family Guy? So
I've been rumbled live on the show.
Caught out live on the show.
So if you're gonna say something like that about a show, Joe.
Okay, go on, John.
Got a really weird question. Is it anything to do with Tim and Eric?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, don't ignore me then. Sorry. Cut that, Joe.
Okay.
Cut that.
No, it's like a Canadian trailer park, and it's just hilarious. 'Cause I think
I'm well up for watching it, but the UK Office is known as one of the very best mockumentaries. The US Office is my favourite TV show ever. Both of them I love.
No, it's one of my favourite TV shows ever, the US
But if
Office.
are you highly recommending this to me?
As a mockumentary, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Have you watched Parks and Rec?
Yeah, I have.
I've watched the first parts of that. I want to give it another chance because I didn't fully get into it.
It's not as good as The Office.
I mean, I've watched it all, and I love the US Office. I probably rate that higher than Parks and Rec, but like I love Parks and Rec, I really do. But Trailer Park Boys, like I've been watching that for God, how many
years now? 10 years.
Yeah, at least 10 years. Like because it's on what season 12?
She's coming on season 12 if they bring more out.
And like. I've loved it so much. I only watched the US Office 2 years ago for the first time.
In my naivety as a child, it was that good. I thought it was real. For instance, even off camera when they meet fans, they don't break character.
Right. Okay.
They do not break character. They used to advertise the show by going around the Super Bowl, and you know how there's always news anchors there at the Super Bowl trying to talk to fans. The fans that they talk to happen to be these three characters from Trailer Park Boys who go up to the camera and ask where they can find some weed. All they want is some fucking weed. And they nearly got arrested in RL.
So are you basically saying that, like Sam, they're living it?
Yeah.
Totally living it. Totally believing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good.
But like you won't have heard of any of the actors. Like one guy, is in like a big budget film. Well, I say big budget. Have you ever seen the Boondock Saints?
Yeah.
They did a sequel to that, and he was in that for 5 seconds.
All Saints Day Part 2.
Yeah. There was a bit in that where some guy got I think he got killed in like a bathroom or something. Years since I've seen it, but he made a 5-second cameo in that. But that was the only time I've ever seen him not in character.
Right. All right, moving on then. Like I've got a couple of games to talk about. Okay. Not like this is very quick, but yesterday I bought Stardew Valley. Has anyone heard of that?
No.
Stardew Valley.
No, I have actually.
I think it's
going back to his natty.
Ozymandias.
I think. Okay, let me pronounce that.
Walk on the road, Jew Valley.
No, it's called Auschwitz Valley. It's actually called it's called Stardew Valley.
Okay.
As in with a D.
Oh.
So STARDE. I think it's EW.
Oh, it's fuck off. Fuck off. One letter difference. Who wrote this? Hitler's son.
So anyway, I've not actually played it yet. I'll talk about it.
You get arrested.
But you basically build a farm and stuff and like.
Oh, I'm sure you do. A plantation, you mean?
We'll come back to this on another. We'll come back to this on another episode. Yeah, totally thrown now. Right,
sounds good.
Yeah, no, and just one funny thing. Wiz Khalifa apparently has a mobile game out.
Do you know something? I seen you retweeted something about that yesterday.
Yeah, so Wiz Khalifa's got a game out where you grow like a weed farm and like create weed on it.
It's essentially Farmville, isn't it? But
it's essentially Farmville, but you're growing.
Is it really? Weed. That sounds quite funny.
But at the end of every option, instead of like okay, it's like grow weed. So it gives you the option. Goes, you've made 50 coins today, and then instead of okay, it's grow weed. So it's just imagine where it's like, can Wiz Khalifa access your contacts list? Grow weed. But yeah, so I might check that out. But,
yeah, I've been meaning to give that a go.
Yeah.
Right. Well, sorry to interrupt. What's your game about? Come on, I'm curious now.
Yeah.
Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
So it's an indie game.
Yeah.
That, like it's reached a popularity level where it got released or as a CD, like as a disc. So I bought the disc, 17 quid. Came with a soundtrack in it, which apparently is amazing.
It's on PS4.
Yeah, what
PS4
platform?
this.
PS4 this.
Well, I mean, it's PC, PS4. I'm assuming Xbox, but I won't put my name to that. But yeah, no, it's like an 8-bit style game where you build a farm and stuff, and apparently you can sink hundreds of hours into that game because it's one of them games you can just keep playing.
I love farming. Like Nickel vouch for me. I'm all
Weed
about
farming.
the farming game.
Let me introduce you to Wiz Khalifa.
You should try Farmville, Josh.
I remember you was addicted to that when we were younger.
Do you know like?
Did you two grow up on a farm together?
No, I've never played it.
Do you know like Joe you might have heard Joe getting not Joe, sorry, Sam getting some flack for paying for this egg ink.
Has he paid for it?
Oh well, not paying for the actual game, but he paid for he's done in-game purchases.
Microtransactions.
Yeah, I've not done that on that particular game, but on Farmville back in the day, I did a lot of in-game transactions.
I had a mate who he had an unlimited contract, and this is when we were like 13, but he had an unlimited phone contract. He went on Habbo Hotel, and obviously he could buy furniture on Habbo Hotel. And because he was an idiot at 13, he thought unlimited really meant unlimited whatever he wanted. So he ended up spending, it was something like 130 quid on Habbo Hotel furniture. And then his parents obviously got this bill through, and it's like he had nothing to show for it other than like this like metal elephant in this Habbo Hotel room.
I was expecting a sofa or something.
But he just have like this furniture and stuff like, and the parents were like, "What have you spent this money on?" It's like, "Have you seen my room?" But yeah,
Oh,
all right.
that's
Well,
funny.
let's move on. Let's get on to the.
I've got a tale similar to that, but I'll come back to that in future.
Well, I was going to mention
Okay.
a game. It's only dead quick.
Okay.
I started playing it today, actually, and I never played it when I was younger, but I heard such great things about it. Zombies Ate My Neighbours.
That's a great game.
If anyone's heard of it on the Mega Drive.
I've
Yeah.
been playing it recently on PSP.
Oh, yeah. I just started playing it today. I was like-
yeah, I've been playing it in a legal fashion.
Is it a
To be
top-down
fair,
kind
to
of
be
puzzler?
Yeah, kind of.
To be fair, I don't think it is legal.
Can you legally play a ROM if you own the game? Because I own the game.
Yeah, apparently so, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
cool.
well, then I have legally played it recently on software on a hardware that should probably.
Do you
legally
own
have it.
3,000 Mega Drive games?
No, I'm pretty sure at this point though.
I do own that one.
Pretty sure at this point it's fair game with Mega Drive games, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to try and sue you for playing.
I don't think Sega are in any position to be suing you anymore. They're long gone.
I mean, like just to clarify, I've not committed any illegal activities. Josh, do you want to talk to us about Zombie?
Oh, sorry.
No, I've only just started playing it today, so I don't have much of an opinion on it. Well, except for that it's quite good.
It's a good game.
I understand the hype now. I was like, oh shit, this is quite
Yeah,
fun.
I played it like a lot more when I was a kid. I've played it recently, but when I was a kid, you could play it 2-player, obviously.
Yeah.
It was great. Good game. That.
Very
I
good
actually
game.
did think about that as a game to bring up one time. You know, if we ever did like a
Yeah.
retro.
Yeah, well, I'm all about my retro game.
Yeah.
I've been talking with my tattoo artist about getting a retro gaming sleeve on my leg.
Yeah, I didn't know where you were going with that then,
Sock.
Josh.
Sock. Is that what it's called? It's actually.
Yeah.
That's mad. Tights?
All right.
Wouldn't that make more
A
sense?
stocking.
Any final points before we move on?
Really quick. Got the Nintendo Switch, as you know.
Yeah.
I was hoping to talk about Mario Kart 8 today. It got delivered yesterday. It didn't work because my Switch appears to be faulty. Randomly at 10:30 last night it started working. Too late to play it, but next week I'll talk about Mario Kart 8. So
Wait, this one's faulty. The last one, it worked.
it worked, but it had a US plug.
But when you
adapter.
when you came to sell it, it was a US plug.
Yeah.
Is there anything right about these Nintendo Switches?
know, I mean,
I've got to admit,
issues.
I'm at the verge now of just binning the whole thing off.
I'll have it.
Well,
I mean,
I've got
isn't
until
the-
Tuesday to return it.
Have you got any dead pixels yet?
No.
'Cause
Yeah, I've heard that's a thing
that's
as well.
disgusting.
Yeah, one day we'll come on to a Dead Pixels discussion.
Yeah. Basically, Zelda and
name
Mario
for a band,
Kart don't work on my Switch. Mario Kart now works, I don't know why.
But John, does 1-2 Switch play?
Yeah, it does. And,
As long as that works.
and Bomberman. The two big boys there, they both work fine.
Just carrying the whole console.
Yeah. So yeah, next week an update on Switch. Yeah.
Great stuff. All right. Well, let's move on to our main film of the week, which is The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford.
And I feel like you don't need a synopsis for this one.
I
because
feel
it's
like-
pretty much in the title.
Yes. The title's almost as long as the film, which is a very long film. Have we all seen that this week?
Yep.
Yeah, watched it last
Everyone
night.
watched
Watched it last night as well.
So what are our thoughts? Like, let me start off. I'll say
Okay.
that, like, we'll cover some points where music I thought was really good.
I liked it. That little theme that repeats all the way through.
It's themes that I think I've heard before, but I obviously have because I've seen the film a long time ago. But I feel like I've heard that, and I don't know whether that's just well written music where I feel like I've heard it,
Yeah.
or whether I have actually heard it.
I think that's what it is. That kind of dreamlike feel. Like you feel like you know it from somewhere. Have you watched Cloud Atlas?
No.
The whole point of that film is like a record they make.
Okay.
And you feel like you know it from somewhere, but it's just completely original for the film, but it feels nostalgic.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
That
that.
kind of thing feel to it.
I was going to say cinematography as well was top notch.
That's what
Yeah.
I've seen it before. Like they looked like some of the shots were absolutely gorgeous on that film. Like,
Yeah.
Stunning shots.
They really were.
Roger Deakins, the
thought-
Deakmeister.
thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
Deakmeister.
The Deakmeister General.
Dick.
I do feel like that rather than focus on like the likes of story plot and that, they were focused on making like a really nice looking film.
Yeah, and it feels like 1880 when you're watching it. You know,
Oh,
it feels
yeah.
like that period. Yeah. Just like you know, Nick, you've watched a lot of his work already. Prisoners, Roger Deakins, Sicario.
Oh,
He
Is
shot
it the same? Because I compared it to Sicario.
Not director.
Director of photography. Yeah. He actually like shot the film kind of
Because I
thing.
compared it to Sicario last night, actually.
Yeah, same look to it, natural lighting. That's what Deakins does. He's done a lot of the Coen Brothers stuff, and he's filming the new Blade Runner film in a few
is he?
months.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a new Blade Runner coming out.
Yeah.
You know, I've still not seen the original. That's meant to be like the best
Ooh.
film. According to all dads of the world,
Yeah.
Joe, that's like the best film in the world.
There's a show for us in a few months, Blade Runner.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Have
See,
you watched
here
it?
it is.
Perfect for the show.
This is why I was going to suggest not doing the magical hat for a little
because
while.
of stuff like this.
Because we could say, like, we're all going to go see Guardians of the Galaxy before next episode.
So that means we need to like halfway through the week pretty much say like, right, we're going to watch this now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we need to obviously watch it in advance. Like,
Yes.
but like the whole reason was because Inman needs a week.
Yeah. He needs 5 nights to get that film
He needs
in.
enough nights to
Yeah,
spread
fair
it
enough.
across. Like, but
Yeah, all right, we'll discuss that.
but apart from the whole beautiful shot thing about going back to
The assassination,
the
of Jesse
assassination of
James
Jesse
by
James
the coward Robert Ford.
Robert Ford. Like I recognise like pretty much every actor that was in this film.
Yeah.
Like I often do Brad Pitt, Casey Affleck, and
Affleck.
Jeremy Renner.
Can I just jump in and say Casey Affleck and Brad Pitt, for me, made the film.
Yeah,
Casey
absolutely.
Affleck.
Absolutely.
Like, the performances, I looked up afterwards.
I don't know,
Affleck-
it was Robert Ford's brother in it. I really recognise that actor.
Sam
looks like- it looks
Sam
like that guy-
Rockwell. He's
I
been in
always think-
loads of stuff.
I always think he looks like that guy who recently died. You know, the one that was in Aliens?
Bill Paxton.
Yeah, I always think he looks like him.
Have you watched Iron Man 2?
Yeah.
He was the bad guy in that, Justin Hammer. That's Sam Rockwell. He's been in loads of stuff, though.
And that,
Has he been in Fifth
that-
Element? Or am I
that,
thinking of
um,
someone?
No, I don't think so.
I'm thinking of the bad guy in Fifth Element.
And that-
Sorry.
Gary Oldman.
do you know that Dick Little?
Dick Liddell.
Like I've seen, he was in Parks and Rec.
Yes.
He was in Parks and Rec. He was, yeah. And Jesse James's wife, like you might not know her, but she was in that TV show Weeds that I was watching a few years ago.
No.
Molly Jane Parker, is it something? Mary Jane Parker?
In fact, was Zoe
Yeah, Mary
Deschanel
Jane,
in
yeah.
the film?
Yes, she was in the film.
Was she like the dancer at the end? You know, the one with the feathers who talked to Robert Ford?
Yeah, she was in it.
So I mean, it
I recognise
had like
it.
an all-star cast, didn't it? Like it was
Yeah.
like
Well,
I recognised everyone in the film.
Even if you go to an individual like performance, Casey Affleck got nominated for an Oscar for this.
Oh, did he? I didn't
I'm not
know
even
that.
surprised.
Yeah,
I was surprised.
Casey
He
Affleck-
played that very well. It was
Yeah.
creepy.
Yeah, he got nominated for one of them.
That's a big theme in the film, isn't it? He's like kind of obsessed with Jesse James, and it's kind of like if I can't be him, I'm going to be the one to kill him. Kind of, you know, that's the kind of trade-off he comes up with.
I think the acting was so good in it. He could have been. I imagine he could have replaced Jake Gyllenhaal in Nightcrawler.
Ooh.
He was that creepy in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's that kind of performance.
Nothing
isn't it?
against Jake Gyllenhaal. He played.
No,
that
no,
really well.
I think that's a fair point.
Yeah.
don't think anyone can replace Jake Gyllenhaal.
No.
We've talked about this before. Like, I think Jake Gyllenhaal might be my favourite film genre.
He is a genre of his own. Like, no, really, he actually is. Though, like, if you're talking about a film, it's a Jake Gyllenhaal film, isn't it? Like,
No, I just couldn't think of any other creepy film, if you know what I mean. But you get the idea. What I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
But I don't have great things to say about the film, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Not Nightcrawler, the Assassination of Jesse James.
By the coward Robert Ford.
But however, fuck me.
Yeah, I agree.
Inhaler.
I have some things that I like about it, some things I don't like about it. Like, I originally watched this back when I was... When did it come out? Was it 2007? I watched this when I was like 17, 18, and went to cinema for it. Thought it was too long. Didn't like it. Watched it again last night. I enjoyed the film. They definitely could have shortened quite a lot of the scenes in that film. Like, some of the films linger.
A lot of it is, it's all to do with pacing and character development.
I know, but I read this afterwards, like, from another reviewer. I can't remember who it was, but they basically said a similar thing where you could probably cut off about 10, 15 seconds from most scenes, and the film would be an hour shorter, and it'd be the same film. Just like,
I'm not sure. I like the pacing to it. I like the mundane pace. You know, like it plods along. And
I get the appeal of a film that like paces along like that. It's quite a slow moving film.
But it's almost in character with Jesse James in that his brother has said, "We're doing no more of this now. We're done."
Yeah.
And it feels like he's just kind of plodding along after that, thinking, "Right, we'll do one more heist or whatever." And it's in service to character. You know what I mean? It just feels like you're just seeing out the end of his life kind of thing.
No, I totally get that. Yeah.
And you also mentioned about how you read a review online and that kind of thing. I watched this film and I had this like revelation that it's identical to Days of Heaven, a film I watched about a year ago from like 1978 or something.
Okay.
And I watched this film recently, like this week, and thought, God, it's Days of Heaven. It's just Days of Heaven all over again. And then I looked online and everyone knows this. It's in like every review ever, like, yeah, it's Days of Heaven. I'm like,
right, okay.
I thought I stumbled onto this great plot, this great point, and Roger Ebert mentioned it, everyone mentioned it, yes, Days of Heaven, yeah.
Are you sure you didn't read the review first and present it to us?
No, see, I don't want people to think
that. Because that's what I'm thinking, John, and I'm editing the show.
Yeah, I was gutted when I found out that, yeah.
I mean, yeah, have we got any more points on the film? I just thought it was too long.
You didn't like it, did you?
It's not that I didn't like it. I'll give it its credit where it's due. The certain scenes like at the dinner table, I felt so uncomfortable. Yeah. Oh, I would thought someone's getting shot.
But how good's that though? That's
good
acting.
That's great. I just couldn't follow who was who. That's my issue.
Okay.
I just couldn't follow who was whose cousin. Yeah. Who was Jesse James' cousin? Who was Robert Ford's cousin?
How are they related to him? Like, yeah.
Yeah. And, well, there was a scene with Jesse James' cousin came into the bedroom, started shooting.
Yeah.
I didn't fully understand what that was about. If anyone could fill me in.
Well,
still a bit like...
My understanding of it is that Dick Liddell had slept with his stepmom, and he told him repeatedly, "Do not go there. Right. You stay away from my stepmom."
You seen it earlier in the scene when he went into the little toilet.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Outdoor,
the outhouse.
Outside.
She wanted that.
Yeah.
She definitely wanted it, but Hawkeye was fuming. He came barging in
with his crossbow.
That's literally all I've seen him. That's the whole film. Hawkeye.
There was one line. If we were talking about how he was acted, there was one line I did think was. It struck me as a good line. It wasn't like one of the standout lines in it, but it just struck me. But it's when what's his name? He's talking to him and they're outside, and he goes, "I'll knock on your door and I'll be as mad as a hornet."
Yeah,
I remember that.
Like that was funny. Like funny in it. Like I enjoyed it kind of way.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, when Jesse James was sort of beating that kid, looking for Jim, who was he looking for then in particular?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that scene.
He was cousin of Robert Ford.
Yeah.
But he was looking for a guy who I don't think was related to them.
It was Jim. I've not got the name wrote down now.
This is my point.
Yeah.
I don't know who's who in that film.
It was another member of the gang he was looking for.
Right.
You get the impression Jesse James is quite temperamental.
I did like how increasingly paranoid he got.
Yeah.
Like when the two brothers, the Ford brothers, were talking, and then he said, "You leave with my permission."
Yeah, from now on, you don't talk when I'm not there.
Yeah.
No, it's played really well, wasn't it?
Yeah, and like you mentioned a minute ago about how tense that dinner table scene was. Was a few bits like that where when he wakes up Charlie in the middle of the night and just starts telling him a story of how he killed Ed. What name was it? Ed Miller?
No, yeah, it's when he's talking to him.
Ed Miller.
Yeah.
Tells him how he killed Ed Miller, but it's all a way to get him to. It's like, right, have you got a story for me now?
Oh,
and he's
God,
trying to tease like a confession out of him about what happened to Woodhite. And like it's just such a tense scene, and Charlie's like, "No, well, honest, I don't know anything."
Oh, it was terrifying, wasn't it?
Yeah,
When he does actually get assassinated, spoilers.
yeah,
From the
Does he
title.
know that's coming?
he does. I think he almost
like-
invites it, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he does, because he looks at him in the reflection of the
Yeah.
picture, doesn't he?
No, I feel like the whole thing was building up to he knew that
Yeah,
was
like, fuck it, I'm going to die now. Because he read the thing in the newspaper, didn't he?
Dick
About
Little,
the
yeah.
Dick Little's confession.
Yeah,
I don't know, alright, this picture's dusty.
Was that how he just wanted to go? He wanted
That's
he
what
did-
I drew from
the,
it.
The way I
He wanted to
interpreted
get
that, he
shot
didn't.
in the head while
No, I
dusting
don't.
his
I don't mean.
picture.
Yeah.
I don't mean literally. I mean like he didn't want to get caught by the police. Didn't want to get killed by like the police or like the sheriffs.
Wanted to get
He wanted to be done by one of his own people, like, and that would have been the ending to his story.
I think he's got a weird fascination with Bob Ford as well. You know, like
Yeah.
earlier in the film, he tells me to hang around when everyone else goes home and stuff like, and almost as if like if someone's going to kill me, I'll let this doofus do it. Like,
No, I never got that. I just thought Bob Ford was literally manipulating him.
Do you think so?
Maybe I was incorrect.
I don't know. I think Jesse James was in on the whole thing from the start.
Oh, okay.
I don't. Yeah. He was onto that well on.
like he knew what was going to happen because Charlie also pulled his gun out to kill him,
Yeah.
but it's Bob who shoots him in the back of the head. Yeah.
I think that was all part of his plan. I think he had a plan that was how he was going to die.
I never fully understood why Charlie killed himself. Towards the end of the
Just
film.
I feel like because like after Bob shot Jesse
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt after Casey Affleck shot Brad Pitt. I feel like he just felt a bit bad about that. It kind of was eating him up, kind of thing.
Yeah. He was friends with him once. He did like him. Yeah.
He was actually friends with him until Bob said to him like, "No, he's going to kill us," and then he kind of started going mad, didn't he?
Yeah, he kind of works
And
him
then-
over to his side a bit. Yeah.
I feel like he was more scared. I feel like he was more scared than Bob Ford.
He was, I think.
Yeah.
But like after he obviously killed him, he was losing the plot after that, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Like he just lost it and he ended up just killing himself. Like
Yeah.
they were on stage, weren't they? And,
Yeah, they didn't say 800 times they portrayed the death of him.
and when Bob jumped off the stage,
Oh, he went sick.
He started.
Oh yeah, he jumps into the crowd. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crowd
What
surfing.
did the guy shouting from the
Coward.
Coward. Well,
Yeah.
there you go. So you were asking earlier why he's considered a coward, but there you go. Yeah, I don't.
I still don't understand it, to be
because
fair.
it's like
He shot him in the back. I think that's
Yeah,
what it
yeah,
was.
fair.
The
It's
It
out
was
the
because
eye.
he shot him in a cowardly way.
yeah.
That's why he was known as the
Back
coward.
of the head.
Yeah, like
can't
when he was
see.
looking away.
But if Charles' his brother wasn't it?
Charlie. Yeah.
If he shot him, would that have been less cowardly because it's from the
No.
side? Or?
Yeah. The coward Charlie Ford.
Yeah, like, did anyone get onto Nick Cave being in the film?
Cage.
Nick Cave.
No.
Nick Cave and the
Nicolas
Bad
Cage.
Seeds. Like, he did some of the music for this.
Did he
and-
really? Well, that makes sense then. Yeah.
Well, do you know the scene where there's a guy in the pub and he's playing along and he's singing a song about Robert?
Oh,
Ford?
yeah,
Yeah.
and he shoots his
That's
gun
Nick
to the
Cave.
floor.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Okay.
That's Nick Cave there. He did the music.
I didn't
a lot
know
of
that.
music, but he was in the film as well. Was a cameo.
Oh,
He's been getting into filmmaking. He did The Road. You like that?
Yes.
He
Oh, The
co-wrote
Road?
no
that.
one can like The
No,
Road.
The Road is a good film.
Yeah.
I love
miserable.
The Road. Yeah.
It's an absolute miserable film,
Yeah.
and no one
Me.
wins in that film.
You have to like ring your mum when you've done that. I just be like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's not even lying.
He co-wrote a lot of the work that John Hillcoat does, which was The Road, is his first US
Yeah.
film. And since he's not worked with Nick Cave, John Hillcoat's films have been garbage. Triple Nine was like, go back to work with Nick Cave.
All right. Well, John, have you got any further notes on the film you got written there?
How did you feel about the snake scene, getting the heads chopped off?
Me specifically,
Well, yeah,
because I'm a vegetarian.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's what he was getting at.
Yeah.
not
did
bothered.
Did it bother you?
Are we going to have this every film? Where it's like, oh,
They
look,
actually died, Joe.
oh, somebody...
Yeah, that was an actual.
What do you think of the
snake scene.
octopus and Old Boy, Joe? What do you think about that scene?
To be fair,
Joe, what do you think of the octopus in Old Boy?
that scene with the snake, it brought me back to something like me and Nick rarely watch television, but we turned it on the other day to some sort of survival.
It was Bear Grylls, The Island.
Was
Pissing
that
in the
what it is?
snake.
And
You just like chopped the snake's head off instantly.
You literally caught it and went.
I was going to say, like, if you didn't know what I was on about, and I just
That
had
was
pissing in the snake
That
out
was
of
a
context.
real snake. That was
He-
a real snake.
He on one of the episodes, I'm sure he killed a snake, then pissed in the snake, and then drank the piss from the snake.
He does like a water bottle or like
Don't you have
to make a balloon animal.
Didn't
No, I
you like
think-
make it? Didn't you like let it ferment for a bit though?
For men.
It's got a frothy theory.
Snake piss. Ugh.
Right, move on.
No.
Yeah, let's definitely move on from that.
Yeah, I'm pretty much done. Andrew Dominic,
Okay.
the director,
Yeah.
did Killing Them Softly. Have you watched that,
No, I
Nick?
want to watch it.
It's really hard to watch, but I love that as well, to be
Sounds
honest.
terrible.
Do you love it, John?
I do, yeah.
If it's
You like
really
your hard to watch films. Like
Yeah, they're not...
Sicario, The Arrival.
Yeah, love it, love that. Yes, well, if you like this, watch Killing Them Softly, yeah.
Okay.
I'll give it a shot.
All right. Well, film ratings. Go around. Who wants to start?
Start with
film
you, Joe.
ratings?
You go first.
For me, I'd probably give it. It's between like a 2.5 and a 3 for me.
Really?
Yeah,
Right.
I didn't enjoy it as much as.
Like you said last week though, 2.5 is a recommend.
It's still a watch.
Yeah,
We
it's
should
a
watch this
recommend.
film. Yeah. Nick, what would you give it?
I'd say 3.5. I'd give it 3.5.
I feel like Josh is even lower with it.
Yeah, I'd give it a 2.
Oh,
I'd
not,
watch-
not even a recommend.
It was a good. Wouldn't watch it again. It
Johnny,
was
you're-
alright.
Johnny, are you going to bring the average up here?
Well, you dropped the first 5 bomb last week on a
I did, yeah.
Watchmen.
I did.
5 out of 5, yeah.
Wow.
You give this a
Really?
5 out of 5?
5 out of 5,
Hey,
yeah.
let's not forget, Inman did give it a 4.5 out
Yeah,
of
yeah.
5.
True.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, the 5 bomb. My first 5, yeah.
Oh.
there we go.
My first 5.
That's fine.
So, overall, highly rated.
Yeah.
I'd give that mixed.
On
Right.
average, we've got a good, 3.5 rating there.
Yeah, good diverse, yeah.
All right, well, let's wrap it up. Should we give away the social media? Well, Jono. Boy, he's not
Yeah.
here.
John,
So-
please.
Hold on, I'll Skype John, I'll give us...
No, so we're
You're
on.
the host, you can give it away, mate.
I mean, okay, we'll try. Well, I'm on Twitter. I'm going to get my Twitter handle right this time because I got it wrong last week.
Yeah,
I am show, is it?
No. Now you're feeding into it now. No. Yeah, it's Joe. No, I know that's how I'm getting that across after we've just had that conversation, but yeah, my Twitter handle is it's Joe.
Honestly, you should always spell it out.
I feel like-
I would spell
is
it
it
as
Y-E-R?
Y-E-A. Oh, yeah.
Okay, right, okay. YEH.
You say it as a Scouser, so
Yes.
Right.
I'd spit on my keyboard.
Oh, right. Okay, guys, took it on board. YEH. It's Joe.
Yeah, it's Joe.
Yeah, it's fucking
Well, do you want to give your fucking Twitter?
Yeah, we're at Taylor
Let's just sit here and take the piss out of Joe's shitty Twitter.
at Taylor 1980.
Mine's DSTE Nick.
I don't have a Twitter, so
Oh, okay.
Okay, we'll just follow DSTE podcast. That's
There
the
it is.
main one.
That's the
You'll
main
find the rest of us through there.
Or you can email.
You can email John.
At dstpodcast@gmail.com.
There you go. And that's it.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah. This is the end of the episode.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Film for
Yeah.
next week.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks for turning
As
up.
a special guest.
Yeah.
Cover the film for next week, just mention.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just mention what we're going to do.
Well, for next week, we're considering doing a sort of top 5 list for like our own personal top 5. So we'll give our own opinions on them. So we're not going to do
sounds
it for
cool.
next week.
Oh,
Oh, did you have something different in plan?
I thought we were doing Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Okay, for next week we'll do Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and depending
and
on
top 5.
this is why we need to talk about this off the podcast.
Oh, yeah, that's
Guys,
Let's
talk
let's just
about
see what
last week's
happens.
ending being ropey.
We're getting ropier each week.
Beating a dead horse here.
Yeah, next week we'll talk about Guardians of the Galaxy 2 because most of us will have seen it by then. And we'll talk about some of our favourite films. Have I
Sounds
saved
good.
that there, John?
Sounds
I'll edit
good.
this version in.
Yeah, cut all the rest out.
Put
Leave
the last
that.
2 hours out. All right, well let's finish it there.
Okay.
It's goodbye from me.
Bye from me.
Bye from me.
Goodbye.
right into the mic. Cup the mic for them deep growls.
Cheers. Bye.
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 When these guys were on about it, I was like, you just spin it, that's it, like, that's all you do. And then I got it, I was like, oh yeah.
It literally, it went from John looking at it going, 20 quid for that, to 20 quid for that.